Hi guys, it's Joe and Matt. Matt back from vacation slash holiday season.
Yeah. Lots
and
of
this is technically Tuning Tuesday, season 3, episode 1.
It's the first one of the year?
First one of the year. I don't know how that makes sense. Well, I guess we weren't here for the first Thursday of the year. We were off New Year's Day.
Right.
So this
is Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. Oh wait, you guys.
Or the first Tuesday of the year. Wait. No, we had to have done it last week.
Yeah, you did do it.
So last week was season 3, episode 1. We just had it labeled wrong. So this is episode 2. Sorry to make that confusing for you guys. It all makes sense now.
We'll fix it after.
Yeah, exactly.
What are we talking about, Joe? Trac Attack.
Trac Attack.
All things GT500. 2020 GT500. Wait, everyone likes their gens. Would this be a Gen 2, or do we factor in all of the GT500s from the 60s, making this technically like a Gen 3?
I don't know. Or should we go even crazier and make it Cobra and not GT500?
Yeah, because then there's like that whole 03, 04 era.
To me, the GT500 thing is a licensing thing.
True. But
for all intensive purposes, to me it starts with Cobra.
So we'll ask them, should it be Cobra, or should we do... What generation is this?
Is this SVT, or is this not SVT?
Well, no, they dissolved SVT, I thought.
But did they, though?
All they did is they just put everyone in a different office.
Yeah, it's like when some government department closes down. It's like all those people are still in the government.
Yeah, absolutely.
They named it something new.
So you guys tell us what generation the 2020 GT500 should be. Mm-hmm. Regardless of the generation.
Is it because Coletti's not involved, it's not an SVT program anymore?
Regardless, we bought an engine. We used a really big shoehorn, and we slid it in there.
Yeah, and now we're going to make some...
We actually dropped it from very high up, like 20 feet, and we just dropped it in.
It's part of the durability testing.
Correct, and made sure it fit.
But yeah, we're here to answer your questions if you have answers, or
you guys,
about Trac Attack. If you have questions about Trac Attack, questions about new GT500 stuff that...
we'll try to answer.
Yeah, we'll try to answer.
We know a lot, but nobody knows everything.
So what do we got?
Ooh. Boy, he hit us right off the bat.
I know.
Lewis, can you guys talk about how to tell a good timing from the spark plug ground strap?
Tell good timing? I can tell you out of a good time.
If it's still there.
Yeah, that's part of it.
Pull the plug. If the strap is gone, you didn't do it right.
We've come too far.
That's a hard one without having a display prop, if you will, to show differences, because there's not an end-all be-all. A lot of people say, oh, it's got to be around the bend. Well, it depends, because you take like a Pro Stock or something, some kind of big crazy mountain motor on a whole bunch of nitrous, 800,000 shot. When they quit calling it shots and they just refer to what size jet is in the fogger, like I'm running a 32 fogger.
Yeah.
You will never see the timing mark get past the bend because the piston will disappear before that. That ground marking, as you know, is also the temperature of the plug. The heat range of the plug can affect where that mark is.
Although that typically also goes into the threads.
Correct.
Temperature.
So that's a hard one without having or being able to show you. But generally speaking, you want to keep it just in front of that bend.
The bend.
So, and also keep in mind that Autolites, NGK, and Brisk all read differently because they're coated in different materials. So keep that in mind as well.
So we're going to do the YMCA right now. I'm a spark plug. My head is my head's the tip. my hand's the ground strap. Or I'm the electrode. My hand's the ground strap. You want to be like right here.
Generally speaking, yes.
Yeah. Sunspot. Did you guys make a video of putting a 2020 engine in Trac Attack so we can see what went into it? Yeah, we'll be coming out with that video in a bit.
So I was gone when you guys were doing most of that, so I didn't...
End of this week, beginning next week.
Yeah, end of this week, beginning of next week, Brian said.
Let me translate that. We're waiting on Brian.
Ooh.
It's not wrong at all.
And then Joe and Vicky Douglas say
Nice.
Matt is
thank,
awesome.
Thank you guys.
And then Travis, happy birthday, little buddy. So, soon, but not yet. I'm actually about a week and a day away from my birthday. I appreciate
I didn't
it,
know
though.
that.
Yeah.
See,
The
that's
15th. You're the 17th? Oh, baby.
Facebook should.
You, me, and Chris are so close.
Facebook
Or at
needs
least
to.
me and Chris's birthday parties are the same day. And then your
That's
birthday's
right.
on the 17th.
Yeah. What's your birthday?
Mine's the 15th.
Oh, it's the 15th. Oh.
Yeah.
You guys, that's so sweet.
I know, right? Capricorn Nation.
Facebook needs to tell
Charlie!
you. They need to tell you 3 days in advance, like a day in advance versus on the day, so you can
Yeah.
prep for that shit.
They do. And then the life of Rye. What size rim and tires, as well as brand, will you be running on the Trac Attack? The Trac Attack.
The Trac Attack.
All that stuff's listed in our old SEMA build stuff. We had Forge Stars on the car.
Yep. Trac Attack is not a drag car by any means. It never has really been, and I don't think it ever will be.
We've raced it at the track before, but that wasn't the intent when
That's
we
like
built the
kind of
car.
our dyno queen, more than
Yeah.
anything. It seems like it's been pretty much purposed as our dyno queen. However, that
It's
might
kinda like your-
change. That might change now that we have this in
It's
there.
like our test car because we don't have another 15 to 17 car
Yeah,
to
it
test stuff
gets-
with, so it just ends up being the mule.
I don't know how many times we've gone out there to work on the car and we don't even know what tune's in it because there's 4 of us constantly.
We're all in there. So we just build a fresh file and put it in there.
You never assume on Trac Attack, that's for sure.
Nope.
So, as far as what wheels and tires, that's just the...
They're Forge Stars.
And I think it's got a Nitto? No? I don't remember what tires are on it.
I think they were NTO5Rs for a little
Yeah.
while, but we have a couple sets of wheels for it, so it depends on what sets of wheels on it. Because we have like a 19 by 11.5 or 19 by 12 set, and then we have a 19 by 11 set. So it depends on what wheels it's on. Yeah, but you can reference our SEMA build video if you're curious about the details on Trac Attack's exterior and wheel package. Project 1X, 15 GT 2.3 supercharger pushing 840 wheel horsepower, E85. I'm looking for throttle body upgrade. Can I use a smaller monoblade VMP offers and keep drivability? Yeah, if you want. Even our 163R
Actually, yeah.
for the 15 to 17 drives really good.
Yeah, I would say the 163R is our big mono, and it still works really well.
Mm-hmm. And Travis Shot, is Trac Attack still using MT82 with the 2020 GT500 motor or something like a T56? We still have an MT82 in the car. It's a stock MT82 actually. It's a
Yeah, that
miracle that
one's-
thing's lived through what it has already.
Yeah, I was going to say that's for sure. Is it still the MT82? Like, it's the GT350 trans. I thought those were a little bit...
No, those are TR3660s or something like
But
that.
that doesn't have that in there anymore?
It never had a
thought it
GT350
did.
trans in it. That was a
thought it
GT
did.
from Ford.
I always thought you guys had a GT350 trans in it, though.
We had a GT350 car. We had an Avalanche Gray GT350 when they
That's
came
where
out.
I got mixed up.
Yeah, but Trac Attack is a different car from that car.
So it still has fortune cookies inside the trans.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
It has not let the cookies out.
Yeah. Is it a 3360 or is it?
I don't. It's some kind of weird.
It's a weird Tremec trans they didn't put in any other Mustang.
Right.
But the transmission that's in Trac Attack is a stock MT82, the stock MT82 from that car. Ron, is the transmission in Trac Attack stock or is it built? So I
It
just
is
answered
still
that
stock,
one. It's
yeah.
a stock transmission.
Yeah,
Calimer
if
Stage
we
3 will
break
hold
it,
well.
we will probably put a Calimer in it. But as of right now, it's not broke. Don't fix it.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably because we don't go to the track with it very much. It pretty much just gets burnouts and dyno pulls and street abuse.
Chivos Adventures. I can't tell if that's Donnie or Chris. When are you guys going to sponsor my 1993 Ford Econoline Coyote swap?
Hey, I saw like a mid to late 90s Econoline, it was originally a 2-valve van, and they did like a full lightning swap on it. I remember seeing it years ago, and the guy was in a wheelchair, so it had like the pan controls, and it was amazing, because it was just him doing burnouts up and down the street with with the...
With the hand controls?
Yeah, and it was with the lightning swap, the blower screaming up and down the street. It was amazing.
And then Travis Shot, damn, what that MT82's putting in some special level of work. Yes,
Yeah,
it is. It
is.
is. That, I don't know what that trans is made of, but it's something different than any other MT82 I've ever seen. Although the dyno time's been pretty easy on it in comparison
Yeah, I would
to
say
what some
dyno
people
time
do.
really isn't power just tries to push the gears apart.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it really does. So it's not shocking synchros or anything like that.
Exactly. And then you got this one. This is all you.
What's that?
SVT'd.
Oh, SPT. Hey guys, just bought and installed a Gen 3 on my 16 no mods auto. Can't drive it till spring. Starts and runs like stock. What is the ballpark horsepower and torque with the 88 on 93? So we generally target, it depends, they all dyno differently. The fact you're on the 88 and the 93, we usually tell people in the low to mid 600s, somewhere in that area.
Yeah.
Every dyno is different, every car is different, every quality of 93 is different, but generally expect, call it 650, somewhere in that area.
I've seen it make more, I've seen it make less.
Yeah, it just kind of depends.
And then R for, I don't know, is there any internal differences between a T56 and a TR6060? Yes, a lot.
Yeah, the true T56, yes.
Yeah, like a Cobra T56 and like a GT500 TR6060.
Unless he means the Magnum, but the Magnum is not considered a T56.
It's technically a TR6060 with
Right.
like...
Well, they call it the T56 Magnum, and that's where it kind of got construed because they call it the T56 Magnum, but it's not a T56.
I think it's a 56 case with like 6060 internals.
Correct.
It's different. It's special.
But as far as the T56, it's a totally different animal than the 6060 for sure.
Exactly. And then we've got Tucker Hofstetter. What happened to the supercharger kit for the 6.2 Raptor? How much horsepower is good for a boosted 6.2? Thanks. So we just took the 6.2 Raptor kit off the site. Nothing really happened to it. And then how much horsepower is good for a boosted 6.2? I mean, there's not really like a set number for those. If you're on 93, it'll probably make, I think I've seen like 520, 550 wheels being the highest, and most of the Roush trucks I see come through are like 480 to 520 wheel on the Roush tune. And then Tucker again. I'm like, wait, that's the same name. Also, would you say the rear end in the Raptor is a lot tougher than a standard F-150 or a normal F-150? I don't know.
I don't know anything about those. Is that the Super 8.8 or is that the 9.75?
No, I think they're 9 3/4. Technically, a 9 3/4 is stronger than an 8.8, but
yeah, because that's the same.
I don't know
thing
for a
with the
fact that
Lightnings.
that's what's in the. I don't know for a fact that's what's in a Raptor.
I have no idea. I haven't messed with a lot of them.
And
I've tuned a bunch, but I've not built.
I've tuned a bunch, but I haven't worried about what the rear end is in
Yeah.
any of the ones I've done.
Not a lot of people. It's kind of sad. That engine has a lot of potential. Just
I
never
think
really
it
took
would have
off.
did a lot better if it was a supercharged 5-liter like a Miami engine from Australia or something like that.
The 6.2 in general, I mean, it's got a big cylinder head on it that flows a ton of air. It's got cubic inches. It's a compacted graphite block, iron block. I mean, it's got potential. And there's
got the bones.
There's a few people. I mean, there was a carbureted one of a Fox body made like 600 a tire on naturally
Yeah, the
aspirated.
green one that's like always for sale.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's made 600 a tire naturally aspirated. I mean,
yeah, but it should at 6.2 liter
That's what
with a
I'm
good
saying.
flowing head.
the potential's there. I just don't think the aftermarket ever really embraced it. Maybe from a shortage or just people not really swapping them, or just because the Coyote makes so much power.
I think it's because it was primarily intended as a fleet vehicle engine.
Yeah.
I think if they would have put it in a Mustang, it'd have gotten a whole lot more love.
Facts.
Yeah. And then, oh, that's the same guy.
Are we on another page or no?
Nope, no more questions yet.
No more
So, what should we talk about?
Whatever will we do in 2020 GT500s?
2020 GT500.
That is the rage right now.
So,
Why did we do it? What obstacles can we go into? What obstacles we faced?
we can kind of cover a couple. The GT500s use a 16-2 reluctor wheel. They use different cam reluctor profiles. We had to pull, when we got the crate engine, it came with a flywheel that's set up for DCT trans.
Yep,
we had to
we
pull
swap
that out.
Yep.
Put the Mantic flywheel in it.
The cams are our biggest obstacle, I think.
Yeah, we'll
say-
save most of that for the next video.
We're not gonna discuss what we did to fix that, but we fixed that.
Yeah, and
It's kind of a double-edged sword because you want to say that it was hard, but it really wasn't that hard.
No, from a physical geometry and like what bolts onto what.
Yeah,
everything
it slid right in.
Everything really from a Coyote bolts right onto a Predator.
Headers fit.
Yeah, headers fit, all that stuff.
Yep. Someone just fell through the ceiling.
Yeah, exactly. It's the Munchkins. There's nothing too crazy about doing the swap. I'd say the biggest thing that's going to stop people is the cost.
Yeah.
At
I
least
mean, it's not a cheap engine by any means. Obviously, later on in the future, they'll start coming down.
Or they'll start going up like some other Ford stuff has after it's...
Well, I meant to start as people start... I mean, once people start wrecking them because they bought their 16-year-old a 2020 GT500 and it ended up in a tree in 4 hours.
Yep.
So they'll start coming out. So I'm sure they're going to stay relatively high, but I bet you'll start seeing junkyard engines in the 15s range, and I mean that's still not cheap, but
they make more power than I would anticipate a 9.5 to 1.
We were talking about that at lunch.
Or Coyote based engine making.
I mean there's now 4 of them that I've seen making over 900 on E85, but it's only a 9.5 to 1 motor.
Yeah.
Makes me want to immediately tear it apart and put 11 back in it.
Yeah. Can you imagine that engine at 12?
That's what, just immediately, let's put a dome back in this thing. So maybe we'll do that.
And then we have Alan Nightmare 50 is 480 wheel horsepower possible with NA Gen 2 Coyote with a 6R80. I'm assuming it's FBO 85.
Yeah,
cams.
that would.
I'd say it's possible. It's definitely the higher end of the spectrum.
Yeah, full bolt on 85. Definitely gonna need 85. Definitely gonna need cams. You might need some compression and/or cylinder head, but that'll get you close.
I think comp stage 3 NAs would get you 480 wheel with an auto car if you didn't have like 456 gears or something stupid to fuck up the reading.
Definitely would get you over the 450, 460 mark for sure. Would get you exactly 480 or more. But I think that's reasonable without getting super psycho.
For sure. Oh my, I found them.
Questions!
So we have RS317. Thanks to Mike for the tune update. Car downshift's great to my liking and for helping with the hard starting issue, which ended up being a fuel pump just like Mike said it was.
Mike Veden.
Mike Veden. I'm so glad that you're happy with Mike and our services.
Yes.
And I'm not going to screw this up too bad. Muklad Nazar, why there are 2 MAB sensors in Shelby 2020?
I assume MAP sensor, manifold air boost, yeah.
Manifold absolute pressure.
Well, you're going to need one before. Basically, one is a throttle. One is not necessarily a MAP. It's it is, but it's a throttle inlet.
Yeah, supercharger inlet pressure, and then the
It doesn't see any boost. It only measures the vacuum behind the throttle body, which also makes it double as a baro sensor. And then, because then you can cross-check. And then there is a second MAP sensor, obviously, after the intercooler brick that is for true manifold pressure. And the reason for that is basically you can build a highly accurate air model if you have basically a vacuum before the blower and a boost after the blower. You can build a fairly accurate air model as well as an efficiency model and things like that. So that's why they have 2.
You can also do the testing for supercharger inlet pressure to determine whether or not the bypass valve is stuck open, stuck closed.
Yeah, there's a lot of... Basically, when you have 2, it drastically increases the amount of stuff that you can calculate inside the PCM.
For torque modeling, ETC modeling, all that stuff.
There's 4 of them on a Hellcat.
Dang. They also have 2 throttle bodies.
I know, I'm just saying, there's 4 of them on a Hellcat, to put it in perspective.
That's crazy.
They have one on each bank, so they have individual boost on each bank.
Dang. Redundancies for your redundancies. What are they going to the moon?
Until you got to swap all the sensors.
And then we've got PJ McMillan.
I know him.
Have you been able to get into the trans tuning on a GT500 yet?
have not.
So, if I'm being 100%, I haven't tuned a GT500 yet. I've tuned a car with a GT500 engine. So I haven't had to deal with the trans tuning issues that guys are running into on 2020 GT500s.
No, we have feelers out. We have one ordered, but we don't have it.
We have a line on another one, but we don't have it here yet.
But we don't have it here, and we've been trying to track down customers. It's just still so new. It's very... They're very sparse. It's agonizingly slow, the numbers that are rolling out. I think they're doing it on purpose.
Yeah.
But it's agonizingly slow, the number of cars that are getting out into the wild, and we just haven't been able to get our hands on one yet.
Yeah.
We will.
And then Tucker Hofstetter again, would you say it's safer to boost a 6.2 Raptor or a 5.0 and lift it? Would the F150 drivetrain hold up? I'm looking at what would be able to take more abuse. I know Justin broke his rear diff and wasn't sure what you guys think is the better way to go. I'm guessing the F-150 will take more power. Thanks again.
I believe that
If I was going into something with the intention of boosting it, I'd get a 5-liter, not a 6.2.
strictly from the aftermarket point of view, there's a wider assortment of parts available for a 5-liter, and they're easier to get, and more people sell them versus the 6.2 stuff.
And a lot of the 5-liter F-150 stuff can be made to be cross-compatible with F-150. So if you're looking to do some budget stuff and you're not afraid of doing some custom fabrication, the F-150 5-liter would be the better route to go. Justin broke the rear end because of wheel hop. And
doing silly things.
Technically, you could get a 9 3/4 rear end and put it in that truck, and you'd be in a better shape. Or you can just get a 9-inch. And then Travis, brand and cost aside, which is more aesthetically pleasing to you, the C8 or the GT500? Would you prefer at the price point, not including markup, or which would you prefer? So that'd be a tough call for me. I really like the way the new GT500 looks.
Yeah, I was gonna say I
think
love the way the GT500 looks. They just knocked it out of the park for me.
I think performance bargain, your money may take you a bit further with the Corvette.
Yeah, I think, but keep in mind, there's also, as of right now, you can't tune a C8. You can tune a GT500. Obviously, someone will break it, but I'm just saying right now, you can't. So if you buy a C8, you can't do anything with it.
Yeah.
Other than put New Balances in the trunk. So
And fresh socks.
and golf clubs. So the
Two.
So for me, I like the GT500. I will, and strictly from the point of view, as of right now, there's no way I would buy a car that I couldn't mess with. It's just not going to happen.
Understandable.
So
I'm a little bit more biased towards the GT500 just because I like the way it looks a little bit more. That's not to say the C8's a bad looking car. It's just a different looking car.
I feel the C8's going to become a lot cheaper in the long run. Like fast forward 10 years, I think the C8 is going to be a lot cheaper. Look how cheap C5s are now.
Yeah.
So fast forward 10 years, and I bet the C8 will be
Especially
a lot
if we're
cheaper.
talking base model C8s.
The GT500 still always seem to hold at least that residual value because they're a limited.
They're a limited or a premium Mustang.
Yeah.
And I think the same will still be true for like the Z06s and the ZR1.
Yeah, for sure.
Grand Sport type stuff, but if you're talking base model GT500 versus base model Corvette, I think like you said, the C8 is going to be a bit easier to get a hold of
Later on.
if you're talking base model stuff. But
So for me, I vote GT500, and that's not necessarily because I'm a Ford guy. I like everything. I just like the styling of the car better.
Yeah, and
I love the way it looks.
I love the way the Corvette looks. It's just I don't know that I'm looking for something like that right now. Not that I could afford it to begin with, but
You can.
just got to sell all the things.
You can.
Yeah.
You just got to go liquid on a lot of stuff. When Joe starts having a yard sale online,
When
know what
you
happens.
see a sleeping bag in the passenger seat of my C8 Corvette, it's not because I'm going on a camping
What do they
trip.
say? You can sleep in a car, but you can't live in, or you can't drive a house. You
Yep.
can't race a house. So.
Something like that.
So
And then the Mustang, you go.
Mustang 87XX. He's always on here. I like that guy. The C8 uses the same core as the ZR1, which took an insane amount of time to crack. Tunes on that core are costing $5,000. Yeah, see? Yeah, I'm not, no thank you.
Just put it on a standalone.
Yeah, but then we got to make everything work with it.
Yeah, that's the tricky part.
Making it run is
And
the
then
easy part.
Yeah, especially since it's DCT trans. But at that
Exactly.
point, if you're doing a standalone, you can control it just fine. I mean, there's controllers and shit for the BMW DCT transmissions.
They're ultimately not that hard. They're actually easier to control in the grand scheme of things. They're easier to control than an automatic. Because the automatic has to deal with oncoming and offgoing pressures. It's a clutch-to-clutch transmission. A DCT is just a manual. It's a manual transmission.
The engagement and the
that
disengagement
is automatically, it is a manual transmission that is just automatically shifted. So it's really just servos doing things for you. It's much easier to do.
Yeah.
So, Chad Dowd, damn Trac Attack, be sounding healthy. Of course.
Yeah,
it does sound really good.
It sounds different with the 5.2, that's for sure.
So yeah, it definitely does, and it's got that crazy, obnoxious, loud side pipe deal on it. It is very loud.
Yeah, she a nasty girl. We got Slab Shack, been a minute. I have a 6.2 Harley Davidson F-150. Ain't no love out here for the 6.2. It wasn't offered in enough vehicles to make people pay attention, and I agree.
Basically, yeah. It's turned into 6.2
It was a fleet engine.
It's turned into 6.2 episode.
Well, 6.2, 5.2, same thing.
I know, whatever, hey.
Whatever floats your
I
boat,
agree,
guys.
there are just not enough of them.
For the aftermarket to pay attention
I mean,
to them.
basically, to put it in perspective, just as a ratio, when I had, we never did
We're
spin.
spinning.
We didn't spin this episode.
I know, right?
It's like, I can't even. So, but where I was going with this when I had the shop, I mean, the ratio, I would do 35 liters to every 1.62.
Mm-hmm.
They just,
I'd say that's about equal, if not even more skewed here.
they just aren't out there. And, well, they're out there. They obviously sold a ton of them. But they're used primarily in F-250s, and they're used as work trucks or fleet vehicles, like you said.
Yeah.
They're not modding these things.
And the most they usually get done, muffler, cold air intake tune.
Yep. Big facts.
It is what it is. Turbinator Lou, hey you guys, from your experience, at what power level would dual 340s tell me to go fuck yourself? Depends entirely
That
upon
was why I was laughing when he put that up.
Depends entirely upon the fuel that you're using, how much boost you're running, and the displacement of the engine.
I was never a fan of 340s.
I was never a fan of 340s either.
Not that they're a...
Especially if you're trying to run them in returnless configuration.
Yeah, it's not... It's not that they're a bad pump, it's that they're the same... They're almost the same cost as a... Well, first off, Walbro does not make a 340.
Nope.
I don't know who makes the 340. I mean, Aeromotive, but obviously they're made for...
Yeah, I think Deechworks does a 340 too.
Yeah, but I don't know who... I don't know if they produce them themselves. Where I'm getting at is that for a very slight amount more money, you can go straight to a 465. You get a name brand Walbro pump that's all they do.
Mm-hmm. Or TI Automotive.
Yeah, or TI, same difference.
Yeah.
And you get significantly more pump for almost the same amount of money. So I've just never really done the 340.
Yeah, I think if it was the 340 was a $100 pump and the 465 was a $500 pump,
that would be different.
There'd be a different conversation being had here.
Yeah, we're talking I think the 340 is like 100 and the Walbro is like 140.
Yeah.
It's not.
I can honestly say there isn't a situation where I'd recommend 340s over the 465.
Who's this 10 minutes left guy? No, I'm just kidding.
You see what that did, Sia?
So anyway, to answer your question, 340s on gasoline, probably 1,000. 340s on E85, 8-ish.
Yeah. If you're lucky.
Yeah, 7, 8.
Basically what a stock GT500 pump would do.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like 07 to 12 GT500. I've actually seen where people try to run 340s in returnless configuration on a GT500, and I have to increase the fuel pump voltage table to get it to do what the stock pump did in the same situation. So it requires more voltage at the same flow and the same pressure.
And there's good old Brett, Mr. Jokers.
Liminger.
Tuning mine next week. That's right, I forgot he got his.
Yep.
Come at me, bro.
Yep. Yeah, I remember Justin telling me.
I talked to him a good bit at PRI. I love that guy. He's a good dude.
He is indeed. We have Tucker Hofstetter again. Thanks, guys. Is the 6.2 still available?
Yeah, they still sell it, as far as I know.
I don't know if the 7.3 was meant to replace it or not. I think the 7.3 was supposed to replace it.
I know as of 2019 they were still being sold, but pretty sure. No, I don't know. I'm pretty sure they're still sold.
We'll see. And then Travis telling me to get a sexy C8 after, get a C8 after a sexy silver fox body. You're speaking the truth, BB.
Yeah. What do you think about the new Holley Terminator for the Coyote? The Terminator fills the gap. Mm-hmm. There's the HP, then there's the Dominator. The Terminator kind of fills in between because the Terminator will do drive-by-wire. It's basically an HP that'll do drive-by-wire. Mm-hmm. It all comes down, the whole Holley platform, it all uses the same software. It all works the same way. Mm-hmm. It all comes down to the number of inputs and outputs that you want to run. Terminator works great. I think it has a few more. I don't remember because I haven't paid much attention to the Terminator. I know the HP is limited to 4 in, 4 out. Not including fuel pump, and I think it has a fan provision. So it's like you get 4 in, 4 out. If you know that's all you're going to need, save yourself $1,000 and just get the HP. If you know you're going to do race car and you're going to be doing shock travel sensors and dry shaft speed sensors and ride height sensors and G-force meters,
Go to the top.
do the Dominator. So, because there's nothing worse, because this actually happened to Jeremy. Jeremy had an HP. He had his old car. He ran it all turboed. Everything was good to go. And then it was like he wanted to add, it was something stupid. Like he wanted to add a drive shaft sensor, or no, he wanted to add like a bump box or something, and he was out of inputs. So that's done. You can't do anything about it. So he had to sell the HP and go to a Dominator, which is you're talking $1,000 versus $2,000, just because he had needed one more input and just didn't have it.
That sucks.
So sometimes it's better to just do the bigger one right off the bat.
Tucker Hofstetter, we have a 2007 GT500. It is a regular Gen 2 right now, 265, Audi 1000s, twin 67, Ceta cold air, Cooks engine 7/8, high flows, X-Force mufflers. Your boosted pumps, it made 681 on 93. I got a 2.5 and a 90 idler when I was at your shop last year from Joey and Donnie. What do you think that would put down with a 2.5? Could it break 700?
You're really starting to push on 93, though. That's the thing.
When you said 265, I wasn't sure if you're talking about a blower and talking about changing the blower and saying it has a Gen 2 now.
I think you need 265 pulley.
681 on 93. So if you're going to a 2.5 upper pulley, you can gain 10 to 20 horsepower. Depends on how close you are to MBT and the fuel quality that you're using. If you're using 93 and you're on Gen 2 and you're going 2.5 upper and it's stock lower, you should have all the octane you need just being on 93. If it's already making 681, you'll be very close to 700. I can't tell you whether or not it's going to break it.
Yeah.
And then Nastang 87. So have you guys seen a GT350 come in with ported heads and new cams yet? If so, how'd tuning and power go? I haven't tuned a GT350 that had anything more than the factory ported heads and had anything different than the stock cams.
Yeah, I haven't, unfortunately. There's just not enough people modifying them.
And with that being said, I have tuned a 5-liter engine that had GT350 heads and comp GT350 cams.
I've done that as well.
But that had a blower. It wasn't naturally aspirated.
Yeah, same deal. I can't tell you that one.
Don't really have an answer for you there.
Sorry. We will always admit when we don't know.
Yeah. Now we have build for speed. I'm building a Gen 2 sleeved. Planning on turning the compression up to 12-1. Planning on running E85. We'll be NA for a while till I get the money for a blower. Is that good or bad?
Perfect.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine.
Do it.
Just keep in mind, if you're running 12-1 on a port injection engine, it's going to be hard to run that thing on a boost on gasoline ever.
Yeah, you will never, at 12-1, you are not ever going to be able to put gasoline in it.
Yeah,
like with any kind of power.
You'll have to yank so much timing out of that thing.
Yeah, you're going to have to keep it. But if it's going to stay on E85, absolutely.
Yeah. And then the HZ, have you guys at VMP thinking about putting a blower on the 5.2 Voodoo? Dude.
Yeah. It fits.
We're not going to be the ones that do it. If someone wants it done, they can buy the blower kit and put it on themselves.
We've mentioned before, it'll fit. There's no reason it won't run. We don't have one here. It's not.
We sold our GT350 a long time ago, and at the point in time in which we sold it, we never had any intentions of doing a GT350 base kit. Otherwise, we would have kept it.
It will fit, though.
Yeah. Does it physically bolt on? Absolutely. Did we want to do it to ours? No.
Can we tune it? Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And then Jacob Demoni, safe limit on Gen 1 manual Coyote. My setup is Roush 2.3, Twin 65, Catless 93, MU52s, 85mm pulley. Also debating long tubes along with 82mm. Technically an 82 all the way down to a 79 should be safe. That being said, the 1112s blow up stock.
Yeah.
And
Just
they
keep
are
it below
known
700.
They are known for having issues sooner than a 1314 would, so keep that in mind.
Just keep it below 700 is what I usually tell people.
Exactly.
They will live, but it's just a matter of how long.
Exactly. And then Tucker Hofstetter, sorry I meant, is your 6.2 Supercharger still available, 265 pulley? I'd have to get with the guys in sales. It'd probably be easier and faster if you just got with the guys in sales. And
yeah, call us up.
Yeah, give us a call or shoot us an email.
I couldn't tell you. Honestly, I could not begin to tell you. But just call sales. They'll tell you right away, of course.
Yep. And then Blake Evans, will a VMP blower be available for a GT350 soon?
See above. Yes.
Yeah, see above.
No, we have one.
Rewind about 3 minutes ago.
Yeah, we will not make a GT350 kit. But the one that we have will fit. You just got to put it on your car. But we can't advertise it as such because we haven't done the research to see if there's like a little tiny quirks that make it not work. But we know that it will bolt up.
Yeah, physically should it work? Absolutely.
Yeah. But we
You'll
do
just
not
need to
sell
run a smaller pulley and stuff, and
we just do not sell a GT350.
We're not selling you a kit with the intention of you bolting it on a GT350. We'll sell you a kit for a 5-liter, and if you want to make sure everything works, that's great. Do it.
Here's one. You buy a kit, make sure it all works for your car, and then you sell the GT350 kit. We'll make you a dealer.
Boom.
And we'll make you a dealer. You get you make like 10, 15 points off the top, and you just start slinging GT350 blowers.
All of it.
We just don't have the time to.
We're more concerned with 18 right now than we are selling blowers for GT350s.
Yeah, we're working on 18 stuff. We've got 2020 stuff coming up. We don't have time to go backwards, unfortunately.
No.
So maybe that's your niche market. Make that side hustle. Put a blower on yours.
You do you, boo boo.
Put a blower on yours. Figure out how to make that last 2% work, and you start slinging some GT350 kits.
There you go. Boom. Done. Speaking of boom, done. We're out of here.
We out.
We got stuff to do. Exactly. If you have any questions or need any questions answered, reach out to sales and support. If you have tuning related questions, email.
Joe, you haven't spun one time this show.
I haven't. I'm letting them down. I'll spin once right here.
I got both knees.
Oh man. He's out of practice.
Both of them. They didn't hit the first time. What changed?
Your wobble. It was your wobble. But yeah, we got some stuff to take care of. We got to go do some 2020 GT500 stuff.
Big facts.
Got some cars to put together. Got some 2018 stuff we're putting together for you guys.
I'm gonna go ice my legs.
Keep an eye on videos coming up. And yeah, other than that, have a good week, guys. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Yay.